Captain's Log Supplemental. We're investigating a subspace rift that's emitting an unusual digital signal. I've had communications decode the signal and send it to my pad, and what I found is astonishing. An alternate reality, where Starfleet, the Federation, everything I know is mere fantasy, played out for the entertainment of others. I'm watching to find out more from Earth's premier experts on what's taking place. This Will and Caleb appear to be reviewing this fictional program in chronological order. Caleb is much like myself, unfamiliar with the nature of this science fiction fantasy showcase. He's watching for the first time and is having lively conversations with Will about what's taking place. My recommendation to Starfleet Command is that we tune in and learn everything that we can about this Retrek review.
Federation, or I send out a distress signal, and anybody who comes to this planet, I eat them. I eat them.
Riker had to be like over the top and cliche in his like actions for the casino.
Do you see it, Enterprise? Do you see it, Enterprise? Sorrow, cry for the children. First and last. First and last. First and last. Delicious.
All Sarek does is goes like this. And
Yeah, he knocks his hands away.
And then the Tellaride's like, ah! Kirk literally, he looks at him and he goes like this.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
Welcome back to another Retrek review, where each week we talk about Star Trek, and this week we're talking about Season 3, Episode 14 of Star Trek The Next Generation, and that episode is entitled A Matter of Perspective. It originally aired February 12th, 1990. It was written by Ed Zuckerman. A first and last, baby. A first and last.
Nice.
It was directed by Cliff Bowl. He is a director who's been a part of the franchise for a minute. He's directed the episodes Lonely Among Us, Hide and Q, Conspiracy, The Royale, The Emissary, The Ensigns of Command, and The Hunted. The synopsis for A Matter of Perspective is when Riker is charged with the murder of a prominent scientist, each side uses the holodeck to show their side of the story. We also had some guest appearances this week. We had Colin Meaney as Miles O'Brien.
Yeah, they used the transport this week.
Yeah, we had Craig Richard Nelson as Craig, an actor who's been in a handful of things, but kind of seems like he plays smaller roles across the board. He passed away last year in March of 2025. Then we had Mark Margolis, who passed away in 2023. He plays Dr. Apgar. He played in Scarface. He played Alberto the Shadow. He also played in Ace Ventura Pet Detective, Mr. Shickadance. He played Gene Morganson in Mickey Blue Eyes. He played other parts, like in Quantum Leap, Law and Order, The Practice. But, what's this right here? Oh, he played Hector Salamanca in 8 episodes of Breaking Bad, as Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
He's the angry wheelchair man.
I thought I recognized him.
Yeah. That's what always makes me laugh when I saw him. In the show, I was always like, hey, it's the crazy doctor from that episode.
That's really funny.
Isn't that really funny? I thought you would like that. Then we had Gina Hetchk as Manua Apgar, a character actor, not in a ton of stuff. She's shown up in things like Diagnosis Murder, Friends, Grey's Anatomy. She's been in some movies like St. Elmo's Fire, Clock Stoppers, Ed TV, things of that nature. And then we had Juliana Donald as Tina. She's been in a handful of films. She's done some animation. She's in The Muppets Take Manhattan. She plays a zookeeper in the 80s Dragnet movie. TV shows, Murder, She Wrote, Melrose Place, Babylon 5, Walker, Texas Ranger, Monk, things of that nature. And then lastly, Majel Barrett is the voice of the computer. So that was our introduction to the episode. But before we move on to supporters and subscribers of the channel, let's first go over to Caleb and ask Caleb what he thought of the episode.
At first, I wasn't really a big fan of it,
Oh, interesting. Okay.
but I feel like the more it went on, I enjoyed it more.
Okay.
I'll give it a 2 Akuta this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting. So
I like this. I kind of like the story of it. I'm kind of a sucker for the courtroom dramas in Star Trek.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
usually pretty good.
Yeah, they're not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad. I thought it did a lot of things well. There's a lot of stuff in it that we'll talk about that
Yeah, sure.
I didn't like.
Of course. Yeah,
But overall, I think the story's pretty good.
good. Cool. The interesting thing is that I can speak to it, and I didn't want to speak to it last week, was I noticed online that this kind of sits in the like meh rating. And I've always been a big fan of the episode. I've always like really enjoyed it. And,
Mm.
when I saw that the rating for this was coming up was like a little middle of the road, which is pretty for start for Next Generation, like post season 3 onward is like notable. Like if it's hitting like 6 out of 10 stars on IMDb, or like people aren't really rating it that high on like other sites, it's like it's probably not a good episode. So when I saw
Interesting.
that, I was like, I don't really remember this episode being like that bad. Like I don't think it's like amazing, but I don't think it's bad. And so when I watched it, I was yeah, I have like a couple hangups, but for the most part, it's to me, it's fine. Like I really don't understand why. Not you, because we're gonna get into it,
Yeah.
but people online, like the general internet, like why they kind of find it not good.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I could think of is like rewatchability.
Okay,
I
that's
think a lot of fans base episodes based off of like I could rewatch that episode, or if I'm gonna go back and watch season 3, these are the ones I'm gonna watch. But this one, I feel like once you've seen it, you've seen it.
that's a fair point. I mean, I've seen it many times, and I knew where it's gonna go, and I never felt
Yeah,
like it's ruined knowing where it's going. I don't know.
ruined.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure
Hmm.
what it is.
Yeah, I don't
We'll
know.
we'll dive into it. Well, very good. Yeah. Hey, two Akutas is. I was really interested. I was going to be like, man, maybe Caleb he'll say Roddenberry, and then it'll be like we can explore that. But I'm happy for two Akutas because that's kind of where I would put it. So cool.
Yeah, I want it to be a Roddenberry because I want to
Desperately.
see my Fallout video.
You won't have to wait too much longer. Well, that was Caleb's hot take of the episode. But before we move into the full review, let's first, right off the bat, we come over here, and we thank Ed Markstar and Captain Olimar for their Patreon support. We appreciate those guys taking their dollars and sending it our way. We do appreciate that. And we specifically thank Ed Markstar for, always standing up for his friends and always getting to the bottom of a mystery and not letting that get the best of him. And we thank Captain Olimar for always listening to all perspectives before making final judgment, but always believing in his friends. We appreciate that. Yeah, no comments to read because Caleb and I are again recording early.
We're in the future.
We're in the future. You're in the past. But that's okay. We know they're going to be out there. We'll read them as soon as we get them. That's a Patreon privilege. You get your comment read during the podcast. So if you want us to say your filthy words while we're recording, just get on Patreon and we'll say them all out loud. It'll all be censored and edited, but it's fine. You can still do it.
But just know I have to see it.
You're right. Yeah. And to all you subscribers there on the YouTube channel, we appreciate your subscription. We appreciate you sticking with us and watching our videos. We're not sure which one made you subscribe, but we do appreciate it. And so, yes, here we are. Without any further ado, let's get straight into the review. So we open up a scene in what looks like 10 forward, but another room, another area of the ship, and people are painting. Get to Picard, he's painting a nude lady.
10 aft.
10 aft, exactly.
10 aft.
It's 9 aft. Get it
Watch
right.
your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Painting naked ladies.
It's kind of a weird thing when you think about it in the sense of what the episode's going to get into, and then it starts with like objectively looking at a
Yeah.
woman in a sense. It's kind
Yeah.
of strange. It's a little strange.
Yeah.
The good news is, Caleb, I won't even have to wait for the trivia to tell you this. We'll never
Ooh,
see Picard paint again.
good.
Data
Well, Data
smokes.
demolished him. Yeah. Absolutely roasted him.
There was an again. I won't wait for trivia. They said that there was a deleted scene where Picard throws like red paint all over, like the painting. Like he gets mad and he just like destroys his painting.
That's funny.
But Data comes in to tell him that they're arriving. Picard invites him to remark on his painting as well as the others. And I wrote down like what he said, and I'm like, I'm not an artist, so I don't understand what he's saying. So he says that the first guy,
Well, I'll explain it to you.
please
My
do.
uncultured swine friend.
Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah.
Please tell me what geometric constructivism means.
Well, that's obviously when you're using shapes, Will.
Yep. You got it. I got that part too.
Okay.
So the first guy's it's art built from simple geometric shapes arranged in a very deliberate, almost architectural way.
Mm-hmm.
It says that it basically is structured and precise, emphasizes design, balance, and order, feels modern, industrial, and focuses on form and composition. And then generally it's connected to earliest 20th century modern art, especially in Russia, but it's more loosely used in just general clean abstract art made from strong geometric layouts.
Yeah.
So when we saw his thing, it's like he basically was taking what she looked like and making like hard edges of her form.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, got it.
I'm glad to see that came back as modern
Yeah.
in this timeline. That's
Yep.
good.
That's good. Then we go to the lady.
Which is, first of all, is my least favorite thing in any form of media. I know I have a lot of these, but the acting like you did something that the production crew already did
Oh,
drives me nuts.
does it really drive you crazy?
It does drive me
That's
nuts. Yeah.
That's funny. That's really funny because she's just like wiping
It's
like
just-
a nothing.
It's just a blank. It's just a clean brush that she's just doing the same
Yeah.
spot, you know.
Yeah.
But they do this a lot. They do this a lot with stuff where they make it look like they're painting or they're drawing or, you know.
Yeah, I do agree.
I think my favorite is like, you know, when they show like you see your face and it's the canvas and the guy's like, oh yes, and he's doing this. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, and he turns around. And it's like a fully finished painted picture, and he obviously just is holding chalk. And it's like, yeah, no, that's how that works. Yeah.
So
Got
let me see here. It's the same hiccup. Is it the same when this is happening on TV?
Yeah, yeah, I know, yeah. Yeah, mashing all the buttons.
And then they show the screen and he's like doing this on the screen.
Yes. I'll show you another one. That drives me absolutely batty, right? Watch, ready?
Yeah.
Oh, my phone's ringing. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, I can be there. All right. It's like, hey, no, we all know what it looks like when you're getting a call. We also know what it looks like when the call screen comes on. And also when you put it up to your ear, the screen goes off. Like we all know that, right?
Right.
Got it. It's like their wallpaper. It's always the wallpaper on the phone. Hello? And it stays on.
I have noticed there are some movies and TV shows that they actually have like either green screens on their phone or they have like videos that play on the phone and they know how to like do it.
Yeah.
Like you said, it'll show a call, it'll then be black, and then you'll see like the hang up thing. And it'll like it's a thing.
It's bad. But honestly the light, the thing that drives me the most crazy is this, and it's all lit up bright. And it's like, what are you doing? Just push like when you're holding your phone, you can just push the power button with your thumb.
Right.
So it's like, oh, I'm getting a phone call. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. It drives me nuts. Anyway. So
Hey,
she's painting this black outline clearly with her brush like this. You like it? Yep, this is how you paint.
I think she was making like a cello or something. So
I don't know. No, I don't think anybody painted what was in front of them, but
well, the guys wasn't that bad. I didn't mind the guys; it didn't look that bad. But Data calls the ladies. I think her name was Ensign Wright. because I had to listen to it about 4 times because I had to keep rewinding it to see what Data said. He said it's fused with incongruities of the surrealists with the irrationality of Dadaism.
Yeah.
So that combines dreamlike mismatched imagery with deliberately nonsensical anti-logic ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it's fusing the thoughts of dreamy but chaotic, intentional yet absurd, breaking the norm rules.
It's a really artistic way of saying it's a mess, is basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
Art is subjective, right? It doesn't,
Right.
its interpretation is subjective. It's, yeah.
So it's supposed to
basically
be.
He's saying, like, oh, you're not like painting what you're seeing at all. It's just a mix of colors and shapes and
Yeah. So
smudges.
basically, the surrealism part is what if this were a dream, and the Dadaism part is asking what if nothing had to make sense.
Yeah.
So basically, together, it's a dream that refuses to explain itself.
Yeah, that's deep.
That's real deep.
And that's probably what she'll name the painting too.
Deep.
An unknown dream. Like,
Oh,
okay. Ooh, nice.
So then we get to Picard's. Before he
You don't even
describes
see
it, you do see it briefly. It's like a weird. Her face is all weird. It's like very quickly before Data comes in. They show you what Picard is painting. It's very odd shaped.
They show you what he's painting, and then they shift over and show you like the model and like other people. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Data comes in. So basically, the first part before he says it to him, the thing I really like is Brett Spiner when he's like, "Yes, and Data, please," and then he just side eyes Picard. He's like,
"Really?
This
is what you want me to do? Please, Data, don't hold back."
So Data says, "This is what he says. He says that." Inappropriately attempts to juxtapose the desperate cubic styles of Picasso and Leger. In addition, the use of color suggests a haphazard melange of clashing styles.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal.
So, trying to put things side by side in a way that doesn't really work. Using Picasso, which did fractured, angular, psychologically tense forms, and Leger did bold, tubular forms, cleaner and more mechanical looking.
Yeah.
But this implies that they didn't really successfully reconcile either of those differences, and that him saying the haphazard thing the colors feel random, unplanned, and stylistically mixed. So basically, unsuccessfully mixes different cubist styles, and its color choices make it feel scattered rather than cohesive. So it's basically saying it's an awkward mess that's incompatible with like any style, incompatible with the style he was aiming for, and that the color choices heighten the sense of visual confusion.
Yep.
So I just thought that was funny because to me, I don't know. It's like there's no reason for it. I get it's just blah 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 blah, and then just say Picard's painting is terrible. I get that's the thing, but I was just like, nah. I want to understand like really what like they wrote it. What is he actually saying? Because it's just like it's not technobabble. It's not made up stuff. Like he's saying real things. So I was like, for once in my life, I wanted to like understand what he was talking about.
I think it's I like this sort of stuff. I think it's cool that like obviously Data has the records for like all mankind and everything, and he can
right
quickly summarize like stuff like this. I think that's cool.
Yeah, the cool thing.
My interesting thing is that like the intro usually sets up kind of what's happening, or it comes back to explaining why that was the intro. This doesn't. It's like a cold open in The Office. It has nothing to do with the episode. It's just interesting. Like I like seeing it. It makes me upset that you said we'll never see Picard painting again because like I like seeing Picard doing stuff in his off time.
We will get him doing stuff in his off time, just not painting. We haven't seen fencing in a minute either, right? He used to fence.
Yeah, and he's a real big archaeologist too.
And he rides horses, right? So it's like we haven't seen those.
Well, he rides computer horses.
Well, true. But no. So I do agree with you. The painting itself does not circle back, but it's the concept of what they're doing. They're all looking at the same thing, but everybody has a different.
Okay, yeah. You're right.
Right.
Different interpretations of the same
thing. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't even put that together until just now. That's good.
That's why it's a matter of perspective.
Wow. Lame.
Boo.
Doo, doo, doo.
But in this opening thing, at the very end of the thing, he says about Picard's painting, he mentions the Proto-Vulcans. He sees a lot of
Yeah,
influence from the Proto-Vulcans, and I thought that's
that
really
was cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing that he called back to.
Yeah, he must have like a big sundial.
Yeah,
And
yes. It's just him. It's the lady like, and then it's just
her
him with like sunbeams all around him.
her breasts are just big sundials.
Oh no.
I'm like, oh.
Oh, I see where
There's a
you got that from.
and there's a guy like falling off the cliff like in the background. Good stuff.
Father. Sorry, I didn't know you were drinking. I was looking down. I'm sorry.
No, that's so funny. I remember that, yeah.
So we go to the bridge, and Geordi remarks that basically all the scientific things that happened on the station went very well, but he'll have to ask Riker to explain the
Hmm.
rest of everything. And I like how LeVar Burton played it. I like that he was just like, I don't really want to talk about it,
Yeah.
but
It's not
like,
my place.
right.
It's not. Yeah.
But the thing that I like about it too, and I know that like we hear it like 19 different times in the episode. Well, we only probably hear it like six, but still, the
Yeah.
thing that I
Feels
like
like it.
was that bit it ends up being like overly repeated, where he's talking to Jordy and Picard are talking, and then you hear Riker be like, you
Get me
can
out of
hear he's
here.
like agitated, one to beam up,
Yeah.
like I'm ready to leave, and then you hear O'Brien say, stand by, and then he beams him up. And it's just funny because, like, it's just interesting to think of, like, what was happening on the Enterprise at the time when that happens. I did think it was
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
cool.
interesting that we got a live feed of the comms. That kind of seemed like a new thing. Because, like, Riker was talking to, I guess, the transporter room, because, like, Picard doesn't answer him, Worf doesn't
Yeah.
answer him. You don't hear anybody down, like, Data or somebody down on the other thing, like, answer him. And then you just hear O'Brien talking, and it's like, well, why is O'Brien broadcasting to the bridge? Like, I don't understand how this. Like, we
I
never.
mean, maybe I don't know, you probably never see it again, but maybe the transport comes like always go through the bridge, so the bridge always knows like what is going in and out of the ship. I mean, that makes sense security wise,
Yeah, I can. Yeah,
but yeah, it's just interesting
yeah.
that we never see it or we'll never see it again.
I'm not sure. I don't. Yeah, I just was. I took note of it. And then the space station explodes. They barely save Riker.
Yeah.
Riker's like, why do you make it sound like? He's like, well, it just exploded, Commander.
Yeah, and how does he know?
Sure, sure. Well, maybe on sensors when he's like trying to scan, he's trying to like grab
Oh, yeah.
Riker. It's
The
like,
debris. Wow, there's a lot of debris now. Maybe. Yes. Yes, I know. I can let that stuff go, but you and I both know that the I don't really know what they're looking at when they're beaming people on board
they
anyway.
don't,
It's
and
it's
they
it's a
don't
lot
want
of
you
just
to.
levers.
They don't want you to know what it looks like.
Yeah,
Right.
but it's like Riker gets on board and he's like, "Man, we barely got you." And he's like, "Well, what do you mean just in time?" And he's like, "Oh, because the
Yeah.
space station's gone." And you're like, "What?" And then like Riker looks off towards like past the camera, like there's a
Yeah.
window there, and it's like,
Yeah. He was looking back at the transporter pad like I almost didn't make it.
"Wow,
You know what he was doing, Caleb.
Dad,
You know
I
what he
got
was
away
doing.
with it."
He was like this.
My God.
My God. You knew
He
that's what
pulls
he was.
his he pulls his fake beard off. My God,
My God.
I got away with it.
Yeah, so we come back from the musical intro. We learn that only Dr. Apgar
Yeah.
died.
So that was like immediately weird. So like the space station, this huge space station blows up, and they're like, "Thank God there's only that one guy on there." And you're
Yeah,
like,
right.
"What? What?
Just one
What
man.
is?" Yeah.
Just one.
Too
And
bad
then
his wife made it off before I could blow it up.
yeah. They noticed a power drain on the station and then an
Yep.
overload of the station's reactor
That
core.
was Riker shooting his phaser,
Yep,
obviously.
obviously.
What else could it be?
Picard urges Riker to talk before Chief Investigator Craig arrives.
Yeah.
It kind
So
of
basically, he's
seems
got
like
3 seconds.
yeah, it kind of seems like they don't talk to each other.
Yeah, it does. It does feel like they don't. Like he just like Picard just leaned against that console and he's like, "All
Yeah,
right, so here's what happened." And then he's like, the door opens because that's how fast transporters are. Like I don't.
right. And then yeah, Chief the Craig charges Riker with suspicion of murder in
Yeah.
their legal system. They're guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
It's insane.
It's insane.
It's definitely not how any other justice system is run at all.
What a twist.
Even though they always
Yeah.
say no, you're innocent until you're proven guilty. I'm like,
No.
totally,
Mm-mm.
totally.
Mm-mm. Be judged by a group of your peers.
That's right.
8 people that don't want to be there. Yeah, it's very funny. They're like, "Oh, we do it the opposite." It's like,
Yes.
"Yeah, okay,
Do
interesting,
you?
interesting." Yeah, no, because what we do is we say that you're innocent until we prove that you're guilty, but we just like arrest you and put you in prison until we do that. So we basically
Yeah.
assume that you're guilty the whole time, but we don't.
Right.
We're not going to tell you that. We're going to tell you that.
No.
Oh no, you're free in like a metaphorical
Well,
sense.
you're free if you give us
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah, you can leave if you give us like a ton of money,
Right.
and then you
And-
may get that money back.
And you promise you won't leave.
Well, you
and we'll
think about
also put a lot of law enforcement on you just in case, like, even though you paid that money, you're now beholden
Yeah.
to law enforcement to make sure that you
Yeah.
show up.
Don't make us send out the bounty hunters.
When you're brought before people of the community and your peers, which may or may not be true, when we go to question people, they may only make yes or no.
Yeah, yes or no questions. Yeah. Now you have the ability to not say a single word and request the
Yeah.
adherence of a lawyer who's been to school. But just letting you know, if you do that, you're going to be extremely guilty immediately if you do any of that sort of stuff. Why don't you trust the police? Why don't you trust the police? Hey, we're on your side, buddy. We're just trying to get the story. I don't know why I'm a Brooklyn cop all of a sudden. Anyway, moving on. This is all. This is all. I don't even know I felt this way about law, but Riker does a good job in this opening to like look guilty. I think he has a lot of like, oh geez, like he's very like. I mean, obviously he's like in shock, but it's played up well where it's like, did Riker have something to do with this?
Yeah, like he obviously doesn't think he murdered anybody. You can tell like he thinks like that's stupid. But the thing I keep thinking is he's just like, but that thing with the wife was kind of weird. Like,
yeah.
So I think he's always like, I don't know, like because he's just like, I think he's just nervous like anybody would be. Any man being like a finger pointed at, and it's like, well, that lady said you raped her. It's like, even if you're like, I didn't do anything, you're immediately going to be nervous because it's like the likelihood of other people believing that you didn't is pretty low.
Well, and it's the thing that we see in this episode. Like, it takes 2 witnesses to be like, nope, this is what happened, and it's like it's their word against yours, and
right.
Usually it doesn't go well.
Right.
Because 2 people wouldn't just get together and lie about stuff. Like that doesn't.
Why would they do that? That doesn't happen.
Why would they do that? Especially something like this.
Yeah.
People don't lie about stuff like people don't lie about murder and stuff.
No.
Get out of here. Jeez.
But I did like the part when Craig and Picard are in the room and they're discussing their legal system and what Picard expects and like all these things, and then he calls Data in, and as Data comes in, funny. Riker's like, "What's?
Am I guilty?" What's Data gonna do?
He wasn't down there. Yeah, Picard suggests using the holodeck to recreate the events with Data's help, and Craig agrees to it, which was cool. I like how Data's like, well, it would involve all of these things. It would take a lot of time and a lot of effort, but it is possible.
It'd be very taxing on our energy and computer system, but
yes. And Picard's like, great.
Because we're not going to that planet.
Never going down on that planet. I hate that planet. Yeah. Then a really interesting thing happens, and I don't know how I felt about it, and I'm sure if I had the script in front of me, I could see it. But Data and Craig leave the room, and then they hold the frame on Picard, and Picard looks like absolutely like disgusted. He looks like angry and like nauseated, and I was like, what? I don't understand. Like, is it because like he hates that the guy's legal system is backwards from theirs, or is it like he's doubting Riker's innocence?
I think it's supposed to be. I think you're supposed to meant to take it in a way where it's like he knows that like Riker's a close friend, and he knows that like he probably isn't responsible, but like now it's like on him to like let him be free or not. Remember that other episode where they both had to be like lawyers against each other?
Right.
Yeah.
It just was an interesting thing. It's not like I think it was weird in the sense of like him being upset. It was just the level of Patrick Stewart's like face. I was like, I don't know if this
Yeah.
matches like how this
There
conversation just went down.
there are a lot of those in this episode that I feel. I feel like there are a lot of times when it's like you believe that Riker's innocent, but you see like all of his friends and they're just like yee. And it's like everybody gives these looks that like they want you to feel like they're thinking like, well, maybe he did. And it's like I don't really like that. I didn't really like that.
Yeah.
There's some stuff
Yeah.
we'll get to during the thing, but I feel like Deanna and I feel like Picard both had a lot of looks and where they were like really thinking that like, well, he probably did do this. This is pretty damning evidence. And like I didn't really feel comfortable. And there's also that scene where like we were just talking about here where before he goes into the room with Krog, he tells Riker that he has the bridge. And
Oh
everybody's
yeah.
like staring at him like, you're gonna let this murderer take control of the ship? It's like, what? Like I was so like weirded out by everybody else's like reaction to Riker. It was interesting.
I wonder if they were just trying to be like everybody just feels bad for him, but it comes
Yeah, but it
across
didn't
like
come across that
everybody's
way.
right, right, yeah.
Yeah, it came
Yeah.
off very, very judging, very judgmental.
Yeah, it's interesting. It was interesting. But basically, Picard comes out of the room after Craig leaves, and he puts Wesley Geordi in charge, obviously, and Data in charge of like helping facilitate, get the holodeck running appropriately. And then he asks
Yeah.
Troy to like be his like second chair kind of person.
Oh, you mean do her job? Yeah. No, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
I don't feel anything because this episode, I can't
I can't do it.
because it has to be proven by facts, not feelings. So I don't sense anything. No, that lady definitely not lying. She's definitely
No,
not lying.
definitely not.
No, you
And
both
then
feel the same way about your stories. So
exactly
if
the
that hope
same.
that helps. Hope that helps. Hope that clears it up. Oh, thanks, Deanna.
Oh. And then Picard goes back to his ready room, and Riker's like, hey, maybe I should talk to you. And Picard's like, I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't want to hear anything from you. Save it for the court.
Exactly.
You must stand trial.
From
No,
her
but I think he gives a good reason, right? Where he's like, I don't want it to like sway my
Oh, right.
opinion. Yeah.
He's like, now
Yeah.
that we're going to court, like it's probably not a good idea to.
Yeah, because even Krog asked him, like, are you gonna be partial to your friend? Like, what's your relationship with Riker? And it's
Right,
like,
right.
well, yes, but like, you don't understand. Like, you don't know Picard. If it came out that like this is true,
Oh,
Picard's like emotional connection is not gonna get in the way.
no.
Even as where he's like, I promise, as a Starfleet officer, that we will not leave the system. And it's like, oh, okay, thanks. I really trust your word.
Oh, I totally just won't leave
No.
once the second. Mm-mm-mm. The second you leave the ship, we're totally not just.
Or not,
Yeah.
we would never leave. It's like, Picard, take your hands from behind your back. And he's like, why do you want me to take my hands behind my back? I don't know what your
I'm
problem
crippled.
is.
I'm crippled from
Yeah.
painting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we learned that when we come back from commercial break that they've recreated it. Take 18 hours to create it. They get all the things. And then there's an 8.7 margin of error.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
Run
good.
Riker Protocol 1.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
guilty.
Not guilty. Yeah. So they begin his simulation. And basically, the thing I wrote was Apgar annoyed, Mrs. Apgar horny, Riker
Yep.
dodges Apgar's punch. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
Got it.
that's it. That's his. That's
Riker leaves. Space station blows.
exactly. Yeah. So I'd
pretty
like
good.
to tackle it one at a time. I think because we don't get it as the audience, we never actually, and maybe that's why people don't like it. We don't actually see what happened. You only get everybody's individual tellings, and we don't also see Geordie's. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen; just means we don't see it. So
That's because the only involvement Jordy had was when he walked away with that lady and she started talking quieter, so it made it seem like they were going further down the corridor. And then the Reichium crystals, and then when you put them in, this is how this is. And
And they're
now
like,
they're gone. Yeah. And George
but
is like,
yeah, right, yeah. But I think
Mhm.
because of how Riker is, I think there's like if the dial is set at 7 for what happened in the actual scene, Riker is dialed up to an 8. Is like the fact that the wife is a little heavy-handed and that the
oh,
scientist guy is like just so annoyed at like everything. I get like everybody agreed at the end, we all agree that this is his behavior pattern.
mm-hmm.
But like when you watch it through all of them, in Riker's telling, Dr. Apgar is just a little bit more ornery than I think he
Yeah,
probably was. And also I think the wife was over the like was coming on to him,
probably
but
over the
just
top is yeah.
not as much as Riker was reading into it.
Because as far as like he was retelling it, it's like a little, over the top. Yeah, no, I can see that. That's a good point. And I think that's why I really enjoy that when they do figure it out. Picard's like, "Oh, well, let's use everybody's
Right,
memories to show you like, no, you said this and you said this and you said this. So this is the same.
right,
But the reason that this is the same is because of this." And it was like that's really cool that they used all three versions to
right,
find pieces that fit together.
right. And Picard uses mostly the other two, the ladies'
Yeah.
things. He
Yeah.
doesn't really use Riker's at all. So that's
Yeah,
just
it's
kind of
good.
how I felt about it. Like, I'm not saying he came onto her. I feel like when she comes to the room, that's generally how he behaved.
Yeah.
Like, ma'am, please don't do this, please. Like, please leave your clothes on, kind of a thing. And him
Yeah, I
him
it's one
stepping
of
out of the
those
way
things.
when the guy punches
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely
right,
that's what happened. Yeah.
right, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
don't yeah, I know. And she didn't show up to the court with like a mark on her face. So I don't know if he really backhanded her either. The husband like backhands her and then goes to
yeah,
swing at Riker and Riker just steps out of the way and he goes into the bed.
yeah. I have
So I
no.
don't really know if
It just
Riker's
I just like we've seen
lying.
how he reacts to things when other things are happening on the ship. Everything is just a little exaggerated. He's a
Hmm.
little too much in all of his scenes. And I think it's just because that's his personality. He gets a little hot under the collar, and that's fine.
Yeah. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, the
But,
argument at the end,
right.
I totally can see that being how
Yes.
that conversation
I
went.
feel like I feel like the two things that are like absolutely real is when they initially beam down and interact with Dr. Apgar. I feel like there was no weirdness
Hmm.
there. That was exactly what happened. And then when it's just him and the doctor at the end when he's beaming out, again, exactly what happened. But like once the wife appeared and the whole room scene, I feel like there's
Yeah.
just the truth is there. It's probably like
Oh,
90% truthful, 95% truthful. It's like, but there's just little things that, whatever. It's going to be different. But then the thing that
yeah,
really,
I can see a lot of that stuff being truthful too, though, honestly, because we see how Riker is with like, women, but
yeah, yes, yeah,
not married women for one, and then also
yeah,
like he's on this mission. He's not gonna,
right. Well, also, right. It was like he
yeah.
has no purpose.
And also like him, he says that they offered to like have them stay.
Right.
And she says, like, no, he demanded to stay. And it's like, that's not.
No,
The
no.
contrast between like his and her story are very
They're so far apart from
so
each other.
so far apart. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the way he acts in her telling to me is like that's stuff that you've never seen Riker act like. So like
Right.
I know that's
No,
not true.
no,
You
no.
lying
And
jerk.
then it makes me laugh. So we get like that presentation of Riker, and you're like, okay. And like when I watched it, I was like, I know that like the writers and probably general broad spectrum viewers are all like, well, that's what happened. And it's like, but we know in real life that like everybody's viewpoint
Hmm.
is different than what actually took place. It's just life. It's how things work. That's why eyewitness accounts are only as good as
Yeah.
the person who wrote down the it's like police officers taking down the notes of an eyewitness account are only as good as what his notes are. It's like
Yeah.
it doesn't
Well, and eyewitness reports are often like very drastically wrong too.
Right. So it's okay. It's just what it is. So but the thing that made me laugh was it's like, okay, interesting. And then Craig's like, it's not what I think would happen. Run hypothetical simulation one. And then it's just like
Yeah.
he's like,
Run this
yeah.
program I made where he's like a real just sex fiend
Just
jerk.
he's just like, no, I think what happened when he got to the end was like he was like, you know what? I could right as I'm beaming out, I could be like, yeah, phaser, and I always like Jonathan Frakes' face that he makes when he shoots. He's like,
Yeah.
he always gives like this like pouty like angry face when he shoots, and
Yeah.
he shoots him, and I was just thinking, all you would have to do, and they don't show it, but all you would have to do is be like, here he is, and then just
Yeah.
bring in Chief O'Brien and be like, hey, when you beamed him aboard, did he have a phaser in his hand? Be like, no. Okay. So he didn't do that.
Yeah, that's true. I thought that too. I was like, when they show this argument, I was like, I don't even remember seeing a phaser like on his pants
Yeah. I mean,
because they don't have pockets.
right. I mean, he's not Rogue Danar. He's not moving inside the transporter field and like putting his phaser back in his pants.
Also, like,
Right.
I know this is a silly question because the transporter can do different things week to week, but like, is it even possible for you to like move and shoot a phaser while being beamed
Not
away?
really.
Like, not,
Not
yeah, I didn't think.
really. I mean, in the first, because there other things will happen in the series. The first like two, like maybe full second to a half, you can kind of do small things, but generally no.
Yeah.
Because the way I've always imagined it for an understanding, because again, Star Trek doesn't want to explain it because they're terrified
Yeah, because they,
to
yeah.
put science behind it. Because the second you put science behind
Because then
it,
you can't write like, well, how do we get out of this? Oh, the transporter. They can just rewind your molecular time code
Right.
to
'Cause
when
the second you put
beamed on
real-
board the first time.
right? Because the second you put real world science into it, all the nerds out there are going to be like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, actually, in episode 2,
Right, exactly. So
I picture it as like a stasis almost for like a
Yes.
minute. Yeah.
when those like initial like white bars come down, I think it's them holding your, like you're saying, like a stasis. Like it's
Yeah.
like a containment. And then when those white particles are going, like and they're going through it, that's like you are literally coming apart. Like you're
Yeah,
being-
right. Yeah.
And I think in that containment, that first like that, I think that's when you can like make like a 1 second movement kind of a thing.
I think
That's-
it's legitimately like locking in your code.
Right. That's how
And
I've
that's
always
why,
kind of
like-
interpreted it. Yeah.
And that's why, like, from that point, they can choose whether or not, like, to beam your, like, weapons and stuff, too.
Right. Exactly.
Because it's locking into all the DNA makeup, and it's, yeah. So, yeah, that was my first thing was, like, I don't even think that you could do that. Also, and if you could, like, it's very risky. Like, I'm not going to be the type of person to test that. Like, introducing
Right.
energy and phasers and shooting and moving while being energized.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm good. Yeah.
Well, this is the halfway point. So go down to the comment section and write, beat me up, O'Brien.
Beat me up. Oh.
So Wesley refuses to believe that Riker shot his phaser. Good for you, Wesley.
Good job, Wesley.
We
Way to
believe
stay
in you.
strong.
I did like that Jordy was upset. He says in this part when we come back from commercial break, he's like, I should have stayed with him. I shouldn't have left. I just like that. I enjoyed that. Like he was upset. And then we learn Worf says the data that a radiation burst on deck 39 outside of cargo bay 12. Some sort of unknown radiation is happening. Jordy and Wesley go to investigate it, and it's a giant like welded, like big hole burn, and it's like,
Yeah, it was pretty cool, actually.
it's like, don't know what's doing that, but it can burn a hole through solid uranium. They were like,
Yeah.
the thing I didn't like about it, and maybe it's just because, like, what can you do about this? Like, it's kind of like an oh well situation, but at the
Yeah.
same time, everybody seemed kind of like super chill about it. Was like, he tells Wesley that, and it's like, oh, and then it's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then later, when we
Should
get
we
to
patch it or
yeah. And then,
we
like,
could burn a hole right through the shield, right into space? But do you think Riker did that stuff? Or?
Right. Right. And the other thing that made me laugh was later, and we'll talk about it, was when the medbay one happens, and then and Picard comes in, and he's like, I don't know what's doing it. It's crazy. And he's just like, well, let me know if anything gets worse happens. And he just leaves. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, I
before,
guess just monitor radiation and let me know if it's burning through any glass or anything.
but
Uh,
before we get to the Bernie in the sick bay, we get Mrs. Apgar's simulation. So then what I wrote in
yeah, we do.
simplification was Riker horny, Mrs. Apgar scared.
Pretty rough.
Yeah, he
It's
is
pretty.
like so the thing that like these I forget what they're called to Gowans to whatever the people
Yeah.
that run it like obviously don't have a problem with hearsay because that's the thing that Picard like gets upset about. So, but the thing is immediately to show the scene where they're having like champagne or whatever they were drinking, her and her husband, it's like, well, that's like you can't show that. Like in our court system, you couldn't show that because it's like that person's not here to say like that's what
Yeah.
you said and that's what the conversation was. Like we have no proof that that conversation even happened.
Yeah, it's hearsay and speculative.
Right. So
Objection.
yeah. So I don't I personally think based off of his reaction in the room, which was constant,
Yeah.
and his reaction to Riker, which was constant, I don't think that that conversation in the beginning where they're like super lovey and drinking and stuff, I don't think that that was real. I don't think a
Mhm.
minute of that was real.
No, and I think that's the thing. Like, I feel like she is a wife of a scientist who is neglected and is on a space station alone. And I totally get
Right.
she tried to make advances towards Riker. Like that makes sense to me. Right?
Yeah,
And Judge
yeah,
Judy says, if it doesn't make sense, it's not true. So,
yeah. That's true. That's true.
yeah.
Yeah, I so like that part doesn't happen. Her acting
And
like
she's like super over the top and like telling you like that she loves her husband.
yes, exactly.
Well, he's the smart. No, no, I can't kiss you. My husband is the smartest man in the entire universe. First of all, no woman thinks that. Second of all,
Right, right.
this is BS, and I won't stand for this. I won't stand for this. She's
Yeah,
clearly
right.
dying.
Look at her lie. Yeah.
How could you
This-
say these horrible things?
The thing that made me laugh, which was like anybody watching that has a brain cell would know that she's lying, is like so they have the next scene where they're out with the converter and he's like talking to them and then she comes down and she's like, oh, and her words are a little different than Riker's when she first comes down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Riker's like
Ooh, a new man. Ooh.
well, in Riker that's Riker's take. No, that's Riker's take. When she
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
over
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
in her take, that's what Riker's doing
Yeah.
when he sees her.
Yeah.
He's like, oh,
That's right. Her take is like every time she makes eye contact, she's like, oh, jeez.
right.
Whoa.
Exactly. And Riker's
I
just like,
love my husband.
and that's what made me think like, there's no way that's what he was doing. There's no way because she comes around the corner and she's like, well, my husband's very smart and he's very, all these things. And it cuts to Riker and Riker's like,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
and she
Those-
immediately is just like,
those,
oh. Because she's like really disturbed by him, and there's like he's done nothing. He's just looking at her. And,
Those eye ridges.
yeah. And so all that comes through, and he's like, Dr. Apgar's like, well, blah, 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 blah. He's like talking to them and all these things. And they keep cutting to her and looking at Riker and her and Riker. And I'm just like, they're sitting like 30 feet away, like 25 feet away from all of this. Like, we as the audience are getting this shot, you know what I mean? Where over there, it's like, this is what you're seeing. It's like you can't get that.
Yeah. And then also her interpretation is like when her husband comes into the room, he's like, I saw you both. I saw both of you looking at each other. You can't keep each other's eyes off each other.
But that's why we're taking it one by one.
Yeah.
He says that specifically when the assistant is relating what he told him. When he shows up in the room, he's instead it's literally the opposite of what Riker says. The door opens and he's like, I saw how you were looking at my wife. When Riker says it, when the door opens, he says, I saw how you were looking at him. So
Yeah.
it's a 180 on
And
the
then
whole
the servant and then the secretary girl, she says
both of
that
them.
both. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot that was that one. Yeah.
So he comes in and Riker's like, he's like,
This is not
no,
what's happening.
right? And then he's like, I can't believe you. And he's trying to like defend his wife. And then Riker's just like, absolutely not. No.
Just him. Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, I don't know why they did it, but
So
they
funny.
cut
You'll
to
pay for this.
a stunt man. They cut to a stunt man punching him. It's not Jonathan Frakes. And
Oh
I was
no,
like,
he did look like beefier, didn't he?
I
Like
was like,
he like hulked up. He's, "Ooh,
I was
take
like,
that, old man! You old
yeah,
stupid scientist!
it
He's like,
was so
you'll never
funny.
get away with this, Riker. You'll never get away with this."
Yeah, and then they don't comment on what happened, because she wasn't there,
No, she doesn't know.
so they
No,
don't
she beamed
show.
off. I like how in her version we don't get to see her and the other girl leaving the
No,
space station. That
no,
doesn't
you
matter.
wouldn't. No, that doesn't matter. But the funny part too
He
was
it would have only been a few weeks. He would have forgotten all about the entire thing, and it wouldn't even have hurt your reputation in Starfleet. I don't know why you did it. I don't know why you did it. It was like, okay, all right,
yeah,
lady, you're laying
he
it on a
was.
little thick.
You were leaving. You were gonna leave. But the thing I did like a lot, because that's how real innocent people act, is when the scene's happening and he's like taking her shirt off and she's like, please, my husband's gonna be here any minute. And he's like in the
Yeah,
thing. Riker pauses it and gets up and he's like, you're
it's like,
like,
what is this? Yeah.
are you kidding me? Like, this isn't. I like that he walked
Well,
around and like, was angry about it. Because it's like
the other
that's how
the
you would
other thing that I enjoyed is right, like so we see her story and he's like all over her.
right.
But now in the courtroom, when she walks in as a witness, he's like he doesn't even want to acknowledge that she's there. Like he doesn't even
No.
want to like make eye contact with her because he's so like he's the one that feels awkward and like he was
Right. He was
uh
abused in some sense, right?
yeah,
Or
right. Yeah.
assaulted, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's how that scene
Also,
plays out.
also, like, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's another part too, right before. I think when it's first happening. I think it's either right when she first is putting the moves on him, or before they go to the room. There's some scenes where he's doing all these like like he's being real pushy with her, and Riker looks
We
at
need a place to stay.
right. And Riker, it cuts to Riker sitting at the table, and he does like this. He hard turns and looks at Picard, and Picard's just like, hmm.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. And
You
then
can
yeah.
Riker's just he doesn't do anything, but you can just see on his face he's kind of like there's no way you're believing this, right? Like I'm just checking here, like
Yeah.
you don't believe this,
And
right?
he is. He's thinking about it.
Yeah,
And then even like Deanna, he's like, "Can you play?" And she's just like,
wow.
"She's not lying, Will. You pig. I know what you're like. You make me
Yeah,
sick.
you sick.
Making me
I've seen what you've
sick.
done to me and my
I've
mother.
seen what you've done yet."
But in the circles of Star Trek memes, not so much like general internet, but we get the famous Riker facepalm, which is very
Oh yeah, the like.
he's like
Yeah,
yeah. It's used a lot in Star Trek
I like it.
circles.
Yeah, I like it. That's pretty
But
good.
yeah, I agree with you about the Troy thing with the whole like you both believe what you're saying.
But she doesn't even comfort him, and then
No,
he's like, "But do you really believe that I did this?" And she's like, "Oh, of course not.
no.
No. Why would you think that? Oh, because of how you're acting. How everybody on board is acting about this. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So the thing that I find like really cool about this episode is that when Riker gets up and like walks
Oh,
through the program, like obviously
yeah.
it's like a still shot or whatever, however they did it, they overlaid the film.
Right.
But I thought visually like that all looked pretty good. Even
It's pretty good, yeah.
even earlier when Geordi's like going through and he's explaining what happened, he walks like around them. So like obviously there's a couple times where you can see them like pretending to be like stationary.
Yeah,
They're
yes,
like
yeah.
moving a little bit.
Yeah.
So like they're actually acting, but I think a couple times they did use like an actual
Well,
screen grab.
when he walks in and he's holding Mrs. Apgar, like that's 100% like an image, and
Yeah,
he's just walking around it. Yeah, when they cleaned it
yeah,
up
but
with the
it was good.
remastering, but still, that's what they did do that in the '90s. So
Yeah,
it's like,
I
yeah,
liked it
it's
though. I thought it was cool. There was a good use of like.
yeah,
That's
that's
why I
how.
always like watching those corridor crew guys because they show you like how stuff was done back in the day, and a
Yeah,
lot of times that those practical effects like looked more convincing than
yep,
full like CG takeovers and stuff.
100%.
So I
Yeah,
enjoyed
it's
that. When they do that, when they break the third wall and you're seeing a thing, I think they even did it before, like the episode with Picard when he's from the future and they're both like together, like current Picard and future Picard are both like interacting like in the hallway. It's like it's really done well for like the time period. So I like that. I like seeing that stuff.
yeah, me too. Then we have it ends with evacuate the sick bay, Doctor Crusher, and then the walls burning, which was cool.
I like that they had Beverly come in for this
Yeah.
one scene.
Oh yeah. Well, two scenes because later she's in there.
Yeah.
So we come back from that commercial break. We learned that the radiation events are able to be tracked. They can. It's like every 5 hours, 20 minutes, and 3 seconds. Like this happens, but they don't know
Yeah.
exactly why it's happening. But they can track it. But they will continue to get to the bottom of it. We then have Tana's simulation, where in her simulation, Riker and Mrs. Apgar are horny, and Doctor Apgar is heroic, and
Oh, yeah.
they both want each other. So she's relaying what he told her, and in that telling of it through her eyes, they both want each other. And but Dr. Apgar is the one who he punches Riker like 6 or 7, whatever, like 4 times, and then Riker's like, "You're a dead man. You're dead."
Yeah. No, that's believable.
So it's like, being Picard and even Troy and even the other guy, Craig, there, it's like you could easily put together without anything else that there was a weird sexual tension between Riker and Mrs. Apgar. Because that's
Hmm.
constant through the whole thing.
Yeah.
That Dr. Apgar came to their room and found them in a compromising situation,
Hmm.
and that some form of violence took place. And then the only thing that's really debatable is what happens at the end. You have Craig's hypothetical and what Riker tells him what happened. And it's just like, okay, so I don't know. It's a
You know what I think?
fascinating.
I think he's a criminal. I think he's selling weapons on the black market. That's what I think.
Yeah, I
It's a
don't.
pretty big leap. I
It
felt
is a pretty
like,
big leap.
you know what? I think he already figured out how to do that, and he's been selling it because there's no monetary gain with working with the Federation.
Yeah, I don't know.
My favorite was
I
when
don't
he's
know.
like, "What's he doing at that computer?" And she's like, "Oh, I don't know. That controls like the reactor. That computer." It's like, oh, interesting. I wonder what he was doing on that computer.
She says, yeah, he's communicating with the field generator
Yeah,
down on the planet. Yeah.
that's the computer that brings up the power directly to the main generator on board.
That's true.
It has the same like energy signal as like the phaser, but yeah, I don't see how that's relevant.
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit here that I think ultimately what makes sense to me is that he made a decision to sell, like, because Troy said, and even the wife didn't realize it, that he is going to sell. He was in the process of selling this thing to a person, to an
Yeah,
entity. Because
the Ferengi.
he didn't know, or at least she didn't know, that you couldn't sell to the Federation because she wasn't aware of that.
Yeah,
Because like Troy explains that to her, so it made
yeah.
me
Nobody knows that.
apparently not.
No,
So
nobody knows that the Federation doesn't have money. Ah,
so
we're
the
going to be rich selling to the Federation.
so my assumption is he thought the Federation was showing up because he wasn't done. He thought they were going to like shut him down and take away everything,
Yeah.
and then was like already he was really agitated by that fact, which rightfully so. And then what makes him more agitated is the fact that a Starfleet officer shows up, and what's he doing? He's now stealing the next thing, right? He's taking his wife.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you're ruining my life. I'm going to kill you, Riker, and make it look like an accident.
Yeah, I'm gonna blow up the whole base.
Right. But to
Yeah.
me, that's the only thing that makes sense. Because if he was an arms dealer and his converter already worked, why are you killing Riker? What? That doesn't stop anything. You made it look like an accident. So, oh man, Riker died. Oh, we didn't put anything in his report. Well, Jordy was on the thing and he was the technical guy. He's the one who's going to tell everybody all the technical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you don't kill both of them. You only got killed Riker. Okay. It's like, for what purpose other than you're
Yeah.
angry about the wife thing? So it's like,
And also, like, like the Enterprise is going to show up and start asking questions and then uncover, like, what you've really been doing, right? Like, that's a...
right. And it's like you didn't stop even by killing, let's say he was successful and killed Riker, like that didn't stop anything. Like you didn't make the Federation like change their stance or anything. Like nothing changed. You just killed a man. Like,
Yeah.
okay. So that that was one of my big hangups, was always like, why though? Why did, like, other than, I get it if he thinks Riker is manhandling his wife, I get that, but like, other than that, I don't really get it.
It's like, I like the way that it sums up like the court case, but yeah, I think when you really try to think about it and pull it apart, it doesn't really make sense.
No. I like that. Yeah, after watching Tanya's simulation, it's time for Picard to make a decision, and he feels like there's no choice but to allow the exoneration of Riker when he's talking to Troy, because it's like, I get that he didn't do it. Like, I don't believe he did it, but like, you saw what they presented.
Yeah.
It's 2 against 1. Like, how else are we going to help him? And then Wesley makes the call that the field generator on the surface is causing the radiation bursts. So
Yeah. Well, he even says too in the scene where she says, "Well, if he goes and stands trial on the planet, do you think like he has any like success of, winning the case?" And he's like,
yeah,
"No. No, he doesn't have any."
right.
But there's no
It's
proof either side. That's the funny thing. It's
exactly
conjecture. It's both conjecture, but because we're dealing with aliens, and I know they're aliens because they have ridges on their eyes and their hair is shaved down the middle. So,
and they have curly hair tops.
yeah, like who's like the mayor from Whoville.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I think the ending is a little weak.
yeah.
I
But
think I was just so happy at the end to see like everybody kind of coming to Riker's aid and like believing him, that I kind of let some of that go, because I felt like the whole episode, I felt like the entire crew was like, "Oh yeah, he did it."
right, right. So at the end of this commercial break, we get Wesley saying, "Not only do we know why they did it, we know
who did it.
did it.
He did it. Radiation did it.
Radiation." But let's learn some more, because it's time for trivia.
Oh, not again. All right, now you're overacting.
So, scientific consultant David Krieger recalled that this episode was one of the few times that he was invited in person to a story conference. Excuse me. According to David, the main problem faced by the writing staff was how to threaten the ship while still maintaining the proposition that holodecks should not, of themselves, create dangerous objects. David Krieger noted, "At the whiteboard in Michael Pillar's office, I explained my idea of making the holodeck construct. Its geometry made it as effective as the real concentrator in creating the destructive phenomenon the scientists had been studying." So they say, pleased with this solution, the writers decided to temporarily call the radiation field Krieger waves. David Krieger was surprised when he discovered that the name was retained in the final episode. So they named the thing.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I thought you would like that. According to David Krieger, he had included a pseudo-scientific explanation on what the waves actually were, a field that suppressed the strong nuclear force, making any matter exposed to it fissionable, but the line was cut from the final episode. As a result, the waves just end up being a MacGuffin.
Yeah, I'm a goofing.
A MacGuffin. The model used for Dr. Apgar's science station is a reuse of the one used as Regular One in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, which was in turn a reuse of the one of an orbital office complex seen in Star Trek The Motion Picture. So that's fun. Michael Pillar recalled that the episode was probably the hardest story to break. It was a technical nightmare for the director. I was very, very happy with the script and thought the show was disappointing. I guess it didn't translate properly. It was very ambitious, but the casting was off. If you had put Lana Turner in the role of the woman in that show, you would have understood it all. But I don't think it played as it was intended. That's about the best murder mystery I've been involved in developing in my career because every detail falls into place. Every line comes together to explain how, what, when, and where, and it really worked from a mystery standpoint. So it's a complicated mystery. In fact, it's like the big sleep in space. It's very complicated, yet if you take that script apart, nothing falls out of it. It ought to win an Edgar Allan Poe Award for Best Mystery of the Year. I've been involved in a lot of crime caper shows, but this was a very proud script we turned out. I just didn't think it was great television. So apparently he didn't like the acting in it. And yeah, some of the acting is a little flat, but I don't know. I don't know. It's not that bad.
But it's also a Star Trek episode.
Right, exactly.
So let's not pretend that we're creating like this masterful artistic like movie, or it's an episode of it's a sci-fi show, dude.
Right. Ira Stephen Bear and Ronald D. Moore were even more scathing in their opinions of the episode, with both naming it as the worst episode of the third season, which is laughable. Bear, in particular, called the episode a disaster, and arguably even his least favorite of all the Star Trek episodes he ever worked on, which is...
That's crazy.
That's insane to say that, but that's okay. He can have his opinion.
Did he see all of season 3, or...
He might not have.
I take it there's a real bad episode in the pipeline.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll be horribly wrong, but I can't imagine.
Maybe. I would just go back and watch the season 2 finale, and that would be...
Yeah, true.
That would be enough, too, but...
Director Cliff Bole remarked that A Matter of Perspective was one of the toughest shows I've ever shot from the standpoint of keeping continuity and having to shoot something 3 different ways. He further remembered, it was a real challenge and, I thought, a very clever show. Keeping everybody aware was the big challenge in doing that show, because many people started getting confused. The tougher they are,
yeah, I bet.
the better I like them.
I didn't pick up on any continuity errors, so I think you did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think it went really well. Maybe the remastering fixed some things, or
maybe,
not, but
I would just film the same thing, like the scene where they're in like drinking the champagne.
Yeah,
like I would just film both takes of that like at the same time.
Right. You would just film. Okay, now we're doing it this way.
Yeah, this time be more horny.
right. Now you're horny.
You're horny for her.
You're not. All right. Here's a picture that you get to look at. It's just a behind the scene look.
Nice.
This is Doug Drexler applying makeup to Tanya.
Yeah, I hated her hair in this episode, by the way.
Yeah, probably him and Michael Westmore. Probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just a fun, just seeing what things look like, when they doing things. I thought that was fun. Freelancer Ed Zuckerman's script for A Matter of Perspective offered an intriguing variation on Kurosawa's film Rashomon, where a crime witnessed by 4 individuals is described in 4 mutually contradictory ways, thanks to the subjectivity of perception. Rather than use flashbacks, as is traditional in cinema, the unique Trek variation substituted interpretations of the pertinent data by the Enterprise holodeck. And it's like I think it's like a 50s Japanese movie where it's like a samurai dies in the forest, and like everybody's accounts of it are like completely different. I think so. I think that's what the story of it was. The plot and characters are based upon another Japanese short story called In a Grove, with the title and framing story taken. Every element is largely identical, from the murdered samurai speaking through a Shinto psychic to the bandit in the forest, the monk, the assault of the wife, and the dishonest retelling of the events in which everyone shows their ideal self by lying.
Wow.
Oh, it came out in Japan in 1950. Yeah, just an interesting thing. I thought that was kind of neat.
That is neat.
So that was trivia. We come back. Picard reveals that the truth hasn't been shown yet, and that Krieger waves are actually happening, and the holodeck facsimile is basically doing the same job as a converter. And as the ship changes angles in its orbit, it's hitting the ship and burning it. So his converter, his system, his project worked.
Yeah, that was a little confusing.
It was, but that's basically what was happening because
And then even Riker's like, Jordy, can't like the holodeck not cause like damage? It's like, well, yeah, but we see what's happening is the waves are banking off of the thing and causing it to
right.
reflect off of the other thing.
He basically explains that the converter is basically mirrors, and the converter itself is very similar to what the holodeck uses. And so when the energy pulse would come off of the surface, it was still hitting the ship, and the converter was still active in the holodeck. So it was then using that and sending out very small Krieger waves out that were burning parts of the ship. But it would change on parts of the ship depending on where the Enterprise was in orbit of whatever Tanaga 4 or whatever it was.
Yeah. I feel like they explained it pretty good, but
Yeah,
it was just confusing
it
anyway,
is.
really.
It is. They pretty much accuse Dr. Apgar of making the converter into a weapon and possibly selling it to the Romulans or the Ferengi or someone else, and that Riker was there due to the Federation having suspicions of him doing that.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't really know what killing Riker achieves, but that's what he believed, and that the 0.0014 second difference that they couldn't account for was the time for an energy pulse to bounce back to the converter from the transport signal. Then
Yeah,
we
because
see
phasers don't shoot that fast.
right. Then we see Geordi's simulation of what happened, and that if they play this converter attack out and time it with the field generator on the surface, it'll prove Riker's innocence. And so they play it out.
Yeah.
He shoots it. It explodes because that's what happened. And then basically we learned that ultimately the judgment is ruled as that Dr. Apgar accidentally committed suicide as he was trying to murder Riker. And Chief Inspector Craig doesn't charge him with that anymore. And we end that, and Troy is very happy for Riker, and it's like great, and that's fine.
Yeah.
They go to the bridge, and it's kind of a little. The thing I didn't like about the end part was I like that he gets the final word. I guess that he tells Wesley where to go, and he says engage, and they don't have Picard talk. They just let Riker have like the scene, and that was nice. I did like that. Like that's a nice thing, like you said, to show that everybody has like moved on from that. They don't think he did this, blah blah blah. But I do think that the episode would have been more stronger if you had a scene where he was more solemn and like him and Picard or him and Troy were like talking like about the subject of like how close he was to losing everything. Like how close he
Yeah.
was to like going to prison, and like even if you act like a gentleman and are an upstanding person, like you can still be accused of horrendous things, and like comment on being falsely accused, and is there anything that he could have done that even though he wasn't intending, it could have been misconstrued. Like I just feel like they could have had a more solemn real ending than just
Yeah, I do too. And not only that, but like it was a thing that like didn't need to happen. Like that guy didn't need to die either, you know?
Sure, yeah,
And so now it's like I get that he's excited that he isn't going to prison or whatever,
right.
but like
It's a little bit like oh well, like that guy was an idiot,
yeah.
shouldn't have done that, and then they all just
Yeah,
fly away.
it makes him feel like less like a real person. He's just like, man, that was close. All right. Anyway,
Right.
on to the next adventure. It's like,
Like,
no, we've seen him feel bad before.
it's just
You know,
I think
he felt bad
yeah,
for that assassin he had to murder.
right.
So,
Right. And
but
to
like he doesn't
me,
feel bad for that guy's like wife now that like,
no,
you know, he killed himself basically.
right.
He's like, well, you lied to, you know, and I guess like you probably wouldn't really because of what she said about you in court. I would be a little upset, but
But
yeah,
like
I don't know.
but to your point, like, okay, Riker talks to Yuta from the Vengeance Factor like a handful of times, like 3 or 4 times, and they have like a tender interaction with each other a couple of times. They're not boyfriend girlfriend. They're not in a serious relationship. You don't really even get the impression that they have sex. He's just tender with her. Great. He beams down, he vaporizes her. Okay. He's like distraught, sitting in 10 forward. Can't believe he had to do that. Picard's like, yep, life sucks. See you in a few minutes on the bridge. Then we cut to this episode, and it's like he's accused of rape. He's accused of murder. You're about to be sent away, and you're not going to be in a Federation prison. You're not going into like the penal system of the Federation. You're going into whatever this planet's penal situation
Yeah.
is. Then you learn through all of that like the woman is like the wife is the one who's making these claims, and you learn that when you were leaving, if it wasn't for the fact that the transporter beam, the refracting of it or reflecting, whatever, like someone tried to kill you, and then because they did that, that person ended up dying. And also
Yeah.
this new energy source that the Federation was looking forward to using is gone, is destroyed. And it's just like, whatever. Let's get on to the next planet. It's like I feel like you were going through something a little heavier than just vaporizing an assassin that you had like a couple moments of time with.
It's interesting. Yeah. I feel like sometimes they do that for the audience. If the episode has been like heavy, they're just like, well, just wrap it up quick and make it happy at the end, and that'll make up for it. That'll make up for saying rape on national television a few times.
Right.
Okay.
And then also like showing it too, like showing that he's being forceful with her. Like, I get it, it's uncomfortable, nobody wants to see it, but like that, like make it real. Like he wouldn't just be like, engage.
Yeah. Hit it.
Right. So my big hang up for the episode after I watched it was just, why would he do it? Why would Dr. Apgar do it? And I didn't like the ending. I didn't like him doing the yuck fly away.
Yeah. You knew we were close to having one of those because we haven't had one of those in a little bit.
It's been a minute. Well, that was our review of the episode. We appreciate you guys listening to us. It's an interesting episode. Curious to see what you guys think. But before we do that, let's do the thing that everyone's been waiting for.
Caleb.
So, Caleb, who gets the Erica Ortegas Award for being the most unlikable?
I don't like the wife.
I can understand.
How is it that, I mean, obviously plot, but how is it that she could say that story and be convinced that that was the truth, where Deanna couldn't pick up on it?
I don't know.
But why do that? Why not just make it so, like, just write that Deanna can't read these aliens because whatever.
Right.
Don't imply it like, well, I don't, she strongly believes that that's the truth, just like you do. Like, and give me a break. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you could have wrote in like somehow the radiation was like affecting her mind, like it was making her sick, and so it was hard for her to read her. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's good.
It's just for people watching at home to be like, well, Riker wouldn't do that, and then they're like, and then the Troy moment happens. It's like, well, I as your friend don't believe you, but she certainly believes that it happened. So I don't know what to tell you.
It's just for suspense. Yeah, I know.
Right, exactly right. Well, next is the Elizabeth Cutler Award for the most forgettable character of the episode.
Beverly.
Nice.
She's like treating some dude's like sprained finger or something in the medical bay.
Yeah. Like it's like a lady and she's doing something with her, but yeah.
Good stuff.
She does a lot of good things this week. I like
She's only there because there was radiation in her med bay.
In her, yeah.
They could have put it anywhere else, you know.
Yeah. Next is the Mugatu Award for the best alien of the episode.
I'll have to give it to these guys this week.
Tagawans, yeah, whatever they were. Yeah. You're like, I hate how they look. I don't enjoy anything about them, but they're the best aliens.
Because I know at the end of season 3, I'm just going to give this award to Worf anyway. So,
sure.
So,
yep, that's true. Next is the Trip Tucker Award for the MVP of the episode.
I mean, it seems like Wesley's the one that figured out about the radiation thing.
Yeah,
but it was Wesley, Data, and Geordi working on it. So, I don't know who the MVP is. You know what? I think the MVP is Grog.
The chief inspector?
Yeah. He's the only one that did his job.
That's true.
came on board to solve this matter. And when he proposed his side and when he knew that he was beaten, he
Like
agreed.
dismissed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, because nobody else believed Riker, so
That's true.
they're not MVPs in my book.
I mean, Wesley refused to believe it, but yeah.
That's true. Yeah, but I can't give it to Wesley.
Yeah, disgusting.
That would be an outrage. It's unfair.
Well, next is the Spock Award for the best line of the episode.
Let's do something Picard said. Maybe that like whole end speech that he makes in the court
Oh, okay. Yeah.
was a pretty good line.
Yeah, there's one here that says that, as Mrs. Apgar says, I never said that. And then Picard says, nevertheless, it seems clear that your husband was motivated to earn the rewards that pleased you. And then he
Yeah.
says, Dr. Apgar killed himself during his attempt to kill Commander Riker.
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah, his end speech, his end, like, putting it together is really good. I enjoyed that. I was hoping you were going to say, you're a dead man, Apgar. A dead man!
That didn't happen.
That's true. All right, fair enough. I
I won't
rescind.
bring lies into this trophy section.
Nice. Yeah, it's good. Well, next is the Shran Award for the best action sequence.
I like when Riker stun double punches Apgar 4 times. That was my favorite.
Do we allow lies?
No, that happened.
Oh,
That
okay.
definitely
Okay.
Yeah, I immediately went back on my.
You were like, I don't allow lies in the thing immediately.
Well, I have to. You have to account for lies in this section because there legitimately is nothing else that happened in this episode that wasn't a lie.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I mean, the space station blowing up did actually happen.
Yep, that's true. Yep.
Yeah, no, yeah, let's do that. Let's do the space station blowing up.
Yeah, okay. I mean, we can
Yeah.
give it to the
No, I
punching
know.
thing. I don't care.
No lies.
Okay.
No lies. I like the space station blowing up because there's that shot where Picard's looking out the window and you can see all the shrapnel and stuff coming towards the Enterprise. I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, cool. It's always good when stuff explodes.
Yeah,
Enterprise still never shakes from explosions, though.
doesn't matter.
The tiny
No.
little green beam hits the shields. They're like, oh my
my
God. But these big pieces of like a space station are flying at the Enterprise. Not a problem.
I think the last episode had that happen where something hit the ship and the ship doesn't even vibrate, but everybody's like in their chair.
Yeah.
Like, nice.
Okay, next is the NX-01 award for some sweet ship stuff.
That is what I presume to be the paint thinner storage on Picard's tray
Okay.
when he's painting. Yeah. He's got like a little cart next to him with his brushes and stuff, and there's a bunch of
Okay.
like clearly just random containers
Sure.
on the tray to look futuristic. One of
Yeah.
them's red, and I think that's where his brushes are. But there's
Okay.
like a silver. There's like this tall silver. It's probably like a margarita shaker. I like that
Okay.
whole scene. I like the painting scene. I like even like the room that they're in.
Yeah, I think it was a redressing of 10 Forward.
Yeah. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, okay, cool. I'm glad you liked the painting thing. Yeah, that's cool.
I love the painting thing.
I thought for a second it was going to be Riker walking around the holodeck stuff, but
Yeah, that was cool. But
I do like that you put an award to this, so we'll never forget the painting. So I like that.
never forget.
Well, next is the Porthos Award for the cheesiest thing of the episode.
I don't know which is more cheesy. Well, it can't be lies. This is really
Stuff.
this ruling is really just neutered all of my responses.
Going forward, it's just going to be like anytime we have a holodeck thing, you're going to be like that. I'd be like, that's lies.
Much lies. Can't use it. Wish I could. Man, let's say it's the scene. As much as I liked like the practical look of it, of the radiation through the wall, it was
Oh.
just very funny and cheesy to me that they're like, "Pff, yeah, that could probably eat right through the entire wall. Oh well,
And Picard just
let's
walks out of the room.
let's
Yeah.
go somewhere else. Yeah, they don't like at least
No.
show them like trying to patch it or seal it or
Anything, like literally anything. They're just
nothing.
like,
They're
this
just
is
like, wow, that could
really
be
bad.
bad.
It's like, I literally, this is what this I'm gonna do to make you laugh. It'd be like, Captain, if this goes on, if any part of this touches the warp core, like we're dead. We're all gonna dead. And Picard's like, let me know if there's anything you need. I'll be in my office.
Yeah, yeah, we're lucky if this was anywhere in engineering. I mean, we would just blow up instantly. Huh? Well, I do have to clean my brushes.
Right. I gotta get going. Well, lastly, is the Star Trek Enterprise Award for the best scene of the episode.
I do like the scene where Riker gets up and is very like adamant about that being a lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
I think that's pretty cool, and it's not a lie because Riker was real
He's
in the
commenting on
room.
lies.
Yeah, he's against the lies like me, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, exactly.
So there you go. That's it.
Yeah, that'll be our new sticker for the thing. Anytime it'll just be Riker going like this to him and Mrs. Apgar, and it'll say lies. Remember a couple times in the podcast, one of us would say something. I think it was mainly me. I'd say something, and then I would go in the edit and learn like that's not true, and then I would be like liar, and I would put it over my face.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I just want it to be just. It's just Riker, and he has like a thumbs down, and it just says lies about him. He doesn't appreciate him.
I didn't do
Only
that.
a liar speaks in absolutes.
That's right. Well, that is what Caleb thought of the episode. That's what he awarded those special parts. We appreciate him doing
Special
that.
part.
Special parts, the special magic parts of the show. He chose those for that. We appreciate him doing that. We know he loves it.
Love it.
But now it's your turn to share your review of the episode with us. And we would like to know, did you like it? Did you love it? Did you want more of it? Or did you find that this matter of perspective was just not the right angle for you? Let us know down below.
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Next week's episode is episode 15 of season 3 of Star Trek The Next Generation, and that episode is entitled Yesterday's Enterprise. So we have that to look forward to, and as long as Caleb allows me to do this with him, there should be, before that episode comes out, a on-screen of that episode where Caleb and I will live react to the episode.
In your house.
So we should have that to look forward to. That'll be fun.
That sounds really cool.
Really cool. Yeah. We'll see what Caleb thinks of that. Definitely won't see any familiar faces that he really enjoyed. You'll have to wait a week to see what that
What's
means.
it called? Yesterday's?
Yesterday's Enterprise.
Ooh, I hope I get to see somebody from another Enterprise.
Maybe. So we appreciate all of you watching, following us along, sticking with this discussion of season 3. We appreciate you guys doing all the fun, excellent things down below. We appreciate Ed Mark Starr and Captain Lamar once again for their Patreon support. We appreciate those guys showing their gratitude and happiness with us. So we appreciate that. And as always, if you enjoyed watching this review, make sure to like the video. If you disliked watching this review, dislike the video. Share it with all your friends and family and Trek enthusiasts. Subscribe so you don't miss a review. And just like Hector Salamanca, ring that bell so you can catch a review as soon as it comes out.
And welcome to 2026.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not there yet, but you are.
You fools!
You fool.
If you don't want to hear us talk about Star Trek and watch any more of our reviews, you can always head on over to Caleb's channel. Caleb has a fun prop tutorial channel where he makes fun, cool, awesome things from pop culture. You never know what you're going to find over there. Just last week, we had another podcast series over there release. That is the Perfect Cell Saga Part 1.
Part 1, yep.
Where we get to see what Perfect Cell really means. What does that
Yep.
mean? He doesn't look like a
Probably
bird
won't get to
anymore.
see him till second part, but that's all right.
So yeah, if you enjoy how Caleb and I go about this, where he's never seen Star Trek, and him and I share our thoughts about an episode, you can do the same over there under our Nerd Holes subheading and watch me not know anything about Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball in general, and Caleb know, and we discuss multiple episodes. But yeah, so go over there, check it out, find a video that you are interested in, like it, leave a comment on it, leave a suggestion of something for him to make, maybe something for him and I to talk about, discuss. We would appreciate that. But ultimately, when you're over there and you decide, please subscribe. We look forward to getting into next week's episode. That'll be a fun one, I think. I don't think Caleb will hate it. Maybe he will. We'll see. That's the whole point of the show.
Yeah. There's only 12 more episodes this season, so
We're over the halfway point, so no worries. So, computer, run Will Simulation 1. Guilty.
Oh.
Do I want to use it? Do I
Yeah,
want to?
I don't know. Nobody makes it to the end anyway, so we won't be canceled.